Hello everyone and welcome into WST Weekly. My name is Hrabchak. This is a show I bring to you every single Monday morning, breaking down everything that happened over the past week in the Winnipeg summer sports scene. And we've got a packed show today. The Bombers had a game, the Goldeyes were on their all-star break and then hit the road for 4 games. The Sea Bears had 2 against the Calgary Surge, and there were some Jets rumors swirling this week. I'm going to break it all down. Let's start with the Winnipeg Jets rumors and news of the week. So here it is, the Jets news and rumors of the week, starting off with Patrik Laine, who was released from the NHL's Player Assistance Program, and it was reported weeks ago that he had requested a trade out of Columbus. Now he can start talking to other teams and he can actually be traded. That has started a ton of rumors here in Winnipeg. Obviously, he was a fan favorite when he was here. Hustler and Ken Wiebe actually discussed the possibility and whether or not the Jets should look to bring in Patrik Laine in a video. Go check it out on our YouTube channel if you haven't already. Number 2, Simon Lundmark re-signed on a 1-year, 2-way deal. He spent the last couple seasons with the Manitoba Moose, and as you can see, this is the only real news of the week. We're in the dead portion of the offseason where nothing's really happening. It's rumors, it's signings, but one thing that still hasn't happened is Cole Perfetti is still without a contract. It's been discussed, should the Jets try and go long-term? Murat Atesh was brought on the show last week to discuss that possibility. Will the Jets go with a bridge deal, a 2-year deal? We are still on Cole Perfetti contract watch here at Winnipeg Sports Talk as he remains unsigned heading into August. And number 4, we have a new video on the channel. I released part 1 of my top 10 Winnipeg Jets prospects, ranking them 10 through 6. Later on this week, I'll have part 2, ranking my top 5 Winnipeg Jets prospects. If you haven't checked that out already, go check it out on the YouTube channel. That's it for the Jets news of the week. Not much to talk about as it is late July, early August, typically the quietest part of the NHL offseason. Now let's get to the Bombers. They are now 2-6 on the season after an overtime loss on Saturday night to the Toronto Argonauts. 16-14 was the final. And if you look at the stats behind me here, this really tells the entire story of the game. The Bombers almost doubled the Argonauts' yardage. They had drives, they would sustain them, and then you get down to that bottom row. The turnovers were 5-1. The Bombers had 3 fumbles, an interception, and they turned it over once on downs. That is the story of this game. They could move the ball, but then when they would get near the red zone, near a scoring opportunity, they would put the ball on the ground, they would throw an interception, they would go 3 and out. A really tough game for the offense, but they played well, but the turnovers and giving the ball away really killed the Bombers in this one, and it killed them last week against Saskatchewan as well, so that's something they'll have to clean up going forward. On the other side of the ball, the defense played great, only giving up 16 points. The Argonauts actually made a quarterback change at halftime in this one. Only 205 net yards for the Argonauts and 12 first downs. The Bombers also had 2 sacks and forced a turnover. Adam Bighill stuffing the Argonauts on 3rd down. The defense played well, kept the Bombers in this game, but the offense couldn't back them up. Now sitting at 2-6, the Bombers have a home coming up against the BC Lions starting next Thursday, August 1st at Princess Auto Stadium. Then they'll play BC on the road in their next game. So a tough spot to be in, 2-6 with a home against one of the best teams in the West Division. The Bombers will absolutely have to limit their turnovers going forward if they want a chance to beat BC in one of those games and end up making the playoffs, as they are right on the playoff line, battling with Calgary in the West. The Winnipeg Goldeyes, they went into the All-Star break on an absolute heater. You see it at the top of the past 6 games there. The home series against the Milwaukee Milkmen, they played great. They dominated it. Then the break hit, and they started a 4-game road trip against the Sioux Falls Canaries, which they split. Dropped the first 2 games 3-2 and 3-1, but then bounced back in a big way with 7-4 and 3-1 victories. Joey Matulovic on the Sunday pitched almost 7 innings and gave up 0 earned runs, had 8 strikeouts. He's continuing his dominant season. He's been the best pitcher in the American Association this year, and the Goldeyes, having now gone 8-2 in their last 10 games, sit half a game back of first place in the West Division. So go check them out. They're back home Tuesday at Blue Cross Park for an extended homestand, fighting for first place in the division, and they're 8-2 in their last 10. They're hot right now. Joey Matulovic, the best pitcher in the league. Go check them out down at Blue Cross Park. The Winnipeg Sea Bears had 2 games this week. It was a home against the Calgary Surge. The first game of the week in Winnipeg, the Sea Bears got the win, 111-104, a high-scoring game. As you can see, the field goal percentage is 54% for both sides. Low turnovers, a really efficient offensive performance on both sides of the ball. Justin Wright-Foreman led the way offensively for the Sea Bears, 24 points. I'll talk more about him later on in the episode. but the Sea Bears won this game. Then the next game they went on and lost in Calgary 87-83. That one more of a defensive battle, low scoring in that one. But this game, the Sea Bears actually opened the upper deck and sold 11,051 tickets. That is a franchise record here in Winnipeg. And over the course of the season, the Sea Bears have sold over 86,000 tickets to all the games combined. An incredible season. The support is there for the Winnipeg Sea Bears, and them opening the upper deck for the final regular season game on Tuesday night was a great idea, and all those fans went home happy as the Sea Bears got a 111-104 win. Now it's time to hand out some awards, the 3 stars of the week. But before we do that, hit the like, the subscribe, and the notification bell so you don't miss videos like this in the future. Every single Monday morning, I'm breaking it down. Also, stay on the lookout this week. Part 2 of my top 10 prospect rankings. Stay on the lookout for that. Now let's hand out the 3 stars of the week. My 3rd star of the week is Sea Bears point guard Justin Wright-Foreman. He hadn't been in the 3 stars the past couple weeks after being a regular, but he's back. 24 points, 3 rebounds, 9 assists, led the way offensively in the Sea Bears win on Tuesday night over the Calgary Surge, and he has been leading the way offensively all season long, especially so since the Sea Bears cut Teddy Allen. If the Sea Bears want any chance in the playoffs, Justin Wright-Foreman's going to have to lead the way, and he did that Tuesday night in the win over the Surge. My 2nd star of the week is Bombers running back Brady Oliveira. Now, he did put a ball on the turf, lost a fumble early on in the game, which halted a really strong drive for the Bombers, but that was the story of the night. The net yardage for the Bombers, a lot of it came from Brady Oliveira. 13 carries and 6 catches, that's 19 touches, 96 rushing yards, 61 receiving yards, and that's 7.4 yards per carry, which is an elite number. Brady Oliveira, after being hurt the first couple weeks, not really looking like himself, he's really come along here. Got to cut down on the fumbles, so does everyone else on the offense. But he was great in the Bombers' loss on Saturday night to the Toronto Argonauts. Brady Oliveira, my 2nd star of the week. My 1st star of the week is Bombers wide receiver Ontaria Pokey Wilson. He had 7 catches, 129 yards, and a touchdown in the Bombers' loss against the Argonauts on Saturday night. He had the 55-yard touchdown, which was the Bombers' only touchdown of the game. Zach Collaros hitting him in stride on a long bomb, took the top off the defense, and Ontario Wilson continues to be a breakout star here in his first season in the CFL and his first season with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Ontario Wilson, my 1st star of the week on WST Weekly. So here it is, the upcoming sports schedule here in Winnipeg. The Bombers, I mentioned it earlier, are starting a home-and-home against the BC Lions. That starts August 1st. That's a Thursday night, 7:30. The Bombers needing a win, needing to take care of the ball. We will see how that game goes, but grab your tickets. Should be a great August evening at Princess Auto Stadium. The Sea Bears, they have 1 game left in their season at the Edmonton Stingers. Then they will move on to the playoffs. They've clinched a playoff spot. Whether or not they can get a home game is still up in the air, but for the time being, they're in the playoffs preparing for that one final regular season game. The Goldeyes are going to return home on Tuesday, July 30th for a long homestand, starting off against the Kansas City Monarchs. Grab your tickets. Should be a beautiful week to head down to Blue Cross Park and check out the Winnipeg Goldeyes, who are fighting for the top spot in the West Division. Go check them out. They were on an absolute heater before the All-Star break, and they're looking to keep that going all the way to the top spot in the division. So go down to Blue Cross Park and cheer on the Goldeyes this week, starting Tuesday. Valor FC, they're going to return home. You can catch them August 2nd, and racing continues at Assiniboia Downs, and not pictured, but the Olympics started this week, cheering on our Canadian athletes as they compete for medals in Paris. That's going to do it for this episode of WST Weekly. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, hit the like, the subscribe, and the notification bell so you don't miss videos like this every single Monday morning. We've got tons of fun content coming to the channel as well, so hit that notification bell and you won't miss any of it. Enjoy the games this week. I'll be back next Monday breaking it all down. Have a great week, everyone.